This video is sponsored by Continental. In this video, we are putting the new and updated, more efficient Skoda Enyaq vRS through one of the hardest tests we do here on the channel called the long trip test. The point of this test is to cover a 610 kilometer, almost 400 mile route with the shortest time charging possible. The pre-updated version in its coupe form managed a 26-minute charging stop to cover the whole route. Today's big question is, will this new and updated, more efficient Skoda Enyaq vRS with a higher peak charging speed be able to post an even better time? That and more we're going to find out in today's video. After a few weeks with really nice and warm summer weather here in eastern Norway, we've had a few days with showers and a little bit lower temperatures. About an hour ago when I started this long trip test, it was raining a lot and also the temperature was around 13 degrees Celsius. But now, after an hour on the road, it's starting to dry up now. Our hair is completely dry. I don't even know if they've had any rainy weather here, and it's 16 degrees Celsius. So hopefully it's going to stay like this for the rest of the day, and the temperature is going to keep creeping to a very comfortable 20-21 degrees Celsius, hopefully. So after about an hour on the road, our average consumption is now at 21.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. But I'm guessing that that's going to drop more and more because, it was a little bit high because of that rainy weather and lower temperatures. Once the temperature starts creeping and we keep, on these dry roads, and also we hit the 2-lane sections of this trip, that average consumption is going to drop more and more. So we're going to be able to go all the way to Kristiansand and then quite a far bit back towards Oslo before we're going to have to stop and charge. I did a test in a Skoda Enyaq, was that a rear-wheel drive version a few years ago, when I almost managed 400 kilometers before stopping. So we're able to go all the way to our turnaround point and then back to Brokelandsheia. So that is the goal today, to go to the Circle K charters in Brokelandsheia. Maybe they have some Ionity charters. Either way, we have a lot of options once we get there. So that is today's trip, this being, the new updated and more efficient 2024 model Skoda Enyaq. I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to push this car pretty hard today. Welcome back to downtown Kristiansand. We are almost at the southern tip of Norway, maybe about half an hour, 45 minutes from the absolute southern tip, but this is the most southern big town in Norway, or the biggest town in all the way in the south of Norway. And this is where we're going to turn around, and they've had some construction on this road here, which they have now opened, so that is pretty nice. I think they've constructed a new building here. This is one of the fastest growing towns in Norway, and this guy is just in the middle of the road. What the hell are you doing? What's up? Just driving in the middle of the road? What's up with people? And it's stopping and looking at me like I'm the idiot? What? Over my lane? What's wrong with people? I mean, what? Oh, that is so funny. I encounter so many strange people on the road, and when you're in the wrong, guys, just own up to it. Don't look at me like I'm the idiot when you're over in my lane. But either way, guys, we're going to take a look at the consumption now, which is now down to a very low. Look at this, guys. Look at this, 18.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That is actually pretty decent. So yeah, let's just close the shutter speed there. Oh, sorry there. This intersection here is a little bit scary because there's a lot of stuff here in the way, but I stopped in time, no danger at all. So we're now currently at 27% stated charge. That is really, really good. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make it all the way to Brokenlandsheia. We're going to try. If not, we may, do a charging stop earlier, but I want to try to make it to the Ionity chargers in Brokenlandsheia because, I just got the passport, the Ionity passport, and it's quite, inexpensive for me to charge at the Ionity chargers. It's only about 3 kroners per kilowatt hour, or 0.25 euro cent, 2.27 euro cent per kilowatt hour, which is by far one of the cheapest, charging providers in Norway at the moment. Continental is a proud partner of Tour de France. That's why you can now win tickets to the world's largest cycling event, and all you have to do is fill out the form linked down below and answer the questions. The competition starts on May 20th and ends on June 7th, 2024, and all the winners will be contacted directly. You can win 2 tickets to the historic Tour de France final in Nice. The trip is from the 20th to the 22nd of July, and you get flights, hotels, and VIP access to the finals. And the value of the prize is approximately 5,000 euros or 58,000 Norwegian kroners. So if you live in Norway, Sweden, Finland, or Denmark, you can enter to win the prize in the link down below. This is our exit as it starts to pour down. Yeah, we've had on and off like very short showers for, I don't know, the last hour, 45 minutes like this, nothing too much. Yeah, wet ground, I mean the asphalt is wet here. So we're gonna go to some new Ionity chargers on the other side of this Uno X 711 station. I don't know where they are. Not quite sure, but look at this, guys. 17.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers and 413 kilometers covered. That is pretty insane. That is pretty insane, this being the vRS. I think that's better than we were able to do with any of the rear-wheel drive versions of this ID4 or Q4 e-tron. Yeah, here the charging station is. Wow, this is a huge one. Wow. For several years here on the channel, I've actually had a charging service provider as a sponsor, but now I don't have any. So that's why I'm now a little bit more price conscious about where I'm charging, because now it's starting to pour down. Because I drive quite a few kilometers, a week and in a month. So, and I also do all of these testing like motorway range tests and also these long trip tests, and I go on a lot of trips. So, I spend a lot more money when I'm paying it for myself than the normal average EV driver. So that's why I'm a little bit more price conscious, and that's why I prefer going to these Ionity, because I have the Ionity passport now, and I'm paying 3 kroners per kilowatt hour, about 0.27, 0.28 euro cent per kilowatt hour, and it's by far one of the cheapest. So if you want to support the channel, because I don't have, a charging service provider as a sponsor anymore, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel if you like the content, because this is what I do here on the channel, test a lot of electric cars. So let's take a look at the charging session here. So we connected at 2% stated charge, and we're now at 158 kilowatts, which is very interesting because the car said peak of 128. And I was like, yeah, that's a little bit low, but I checked it when we were at like 15-20%, and the car said our peak should be at 135, and the car said the battery was up to its optimal temperature, which is very weird because this platform should, peak at 175 kilowatts, and I've seen upwards of 190 kilowatts, 190. And you see that we're getting 161 now, so I don't know if there's like an error with the software, or maybe... yeah, there should be an error with the software, because I was recently in Spain and at the Cupra Tavascan launch. Go check that video out. I have a range test on that car and also a full tour of the VZ Extreme version, which is this car's sibling. It's built on the MBB platform. So you have this, you have the Volkswagen ID4, and also the Audi Q4 e-tron. And with this 2024 update, they got, more efficient front and rear electric motors for improved efficiency, but also faster charging, 175 kilowatts, and also, preconditioning manually as you have with this car. But at the presentation in Spain, with the Cupra Tavascan. The presentation stated 135 kilowatts of peak charging speed, which is a bit weird because all of these three other cars get 175. So I asked one of the engineers after the presentation, and he said, because that car is built in China, there's a different battery supplier. So this is built in the Czech Republic, if I'm not mistaken. The Audi is built in Germany, and also the Volkswagen is built in Germany for the European markets. Of course, I think there's like Asian versions of those that are built in China, but I'm talking about the versions we get here. So that makes sense, right? But that's why I was thinking, why does this say 135 kilowatts of peak charging speed when the specs said 175? So I only think it's like an error with the software of this car, because if we take a look now at 11% state of charge, we are now getting 171 kilowatts. So yeah, that's a bit weird. Maybe just like a software update, because this is an early build of the car, this being a press car. So I'm guessing that's just a bug, an error that I'll report back to Skoda. But thus far, guys, this is looking to be really, really good for this car. So we're only going to have to do this charging stop here, and then I think we're going to go to 55% state of charge. That should give us enough range to get back. So this is going to be a short and quick charging stop, and I'll talk to you guys once we get back to our starting point at Esso in Släpanden. Welcome back to Esso in Släpanden, where we started this long trip test earlier today. And we arrived here with an enormous, a massive, a huge 9% state of charge, which is a lot of state of charge. That is a lot of battery for me to arrive back at our starting point in these long trip tests. So usually I push these cars as hard as possible, going as low in the charge as I'm able to do. And we did that at our first and our only charging stop today. We arrived with 2% state of charge. And according to my calculations, I estimated we were going to arrive here with around 0 to 5% state of charge, closer to 5%. But because of the pretty nice weather, dry conditions, and also mild temperatures of between 17 and 19 degrees Celsius, yeah, we had lower consumption. And also according to the wind map, on our way down the first third of the leg, it looked like we had a slight tailwind, meaning a slight headwind on our way up the last third of this trip, but none of that really materialized, so we actually had a lot better consumption than I calculated, thus arriving here with 9% state of charge. And our average consumption, a very low 18.0 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and I think that is the lowest by far I've been able to get in either this, the Enyaq Coupe, the ID4, the ID5, Q4 e-tron, or Q4 e-tron Sportback. So that is testament to this new update with the new efficient electric motors, that it's just, yeah, more efficient. So I can't wait to test maybe a coupe version of a lesser power, maybe the Q4 Sportback, 45 e-tron Quattro, or maybe even a rear-wheel drive version, because I believe those cars can post even lower consumption. So you guys are here at the end of the video because you want to know how many minutes the Skoda Enyaq vRS had to charge to cover the 610 kilometer, almost 400 mile route. Without further ado, this car charged for a total of 17 minutes. Yeah, that is impressive. 17 minutes is impressive, and that is a combination of low consumption and also that updated and upgraded charging speed over the updated version, the old version, which only got 135 kilowatts or 130 kilowatts of peak charging speed. So this new battery pack, you know, getting that 175 plus, I think we peaked at 177 with this car, but we may even have peaked a little bit higher when I wasn't watching, but I was at least able to register 177 kilowatts, but I've seen as much as like 190, 191 or 192 kilowatts out of this battery pack in other Volkswagen product cars. So it is pretty impressive. And when you consider we arrived here with 9% battery, if I was able to, arrive here a little bit more accurately with lower percentage, maybe we would have been down to like 14 or 15 minutes charging, because, you know, getting that extra 5% from, I charged to 55%, so getting that extra 5% from 50 to 5, that took like 2 or 3 minutes because we weren't charging in particularly fast. So either way, very impressive with this car. I mean, it's not the fastest charging, but it is really efficient, and that combination is a winner. So I'm pretty satisfied and impressed by the upgrades of this new Skoda vRS. So guys, let me know what you think about the results. Are you happy or are you disappointed? Were you expecting lower consumption or faster charging? So let me know. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.